one of my favorite exercises is to actually close my eyes and start imagining it and feeling the emotions as if I'm there. Imagine how those scenarios would look like, how those scenarios would feel like, as if I'm really truly living through them. And then the brain cannot really distinguish between the real world and what we're imagining. That's how powerful our brains are, and that's why once we do that, our brain almost feels like it's a reality, and it will help us bring it to the reality. Welcome everyone to LifewithLiza podcast. Our mission at LifewithLiza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they have overcome, so that those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage, and the hope to be their better selves. And today we have a special edition episode, and I'll be a guest. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining in and watching this video or listening to this podcast, and for actively investing time and energy into learning new things and getting better. I'm so happy to have you here. And something that I wanted to talk to you about today is I was recently reflecting on life and just thinking how there are this kind of there's this kind of roadmap as we are growing up. We know what is the next achievement or something that we are working towards. For example, I always remember when I was in middle school, I thought, okay, the next one is the high school, and then after the high school we go to university and have that next challenge, and after university we find the job and we have that challenge, and then we get better at the job, etc. And then at one point, now I am almost 4 years into my job that I got after university, and then I'm thinking, but what is the next big step, or how is the map looking like at this moment, and is this it, which is life? And I hope there's more to life than just our day-to-day lives of working. But what I wanted to say, it's quite interesting how up to one point we do have this kind of map, and then afterwards, if we're not consciously creating our map ourselves, we will be just taken with the stream, like with the stream of life will continue going. And I think that's why it's so important to carve out the time and actually pause and reflect on what is going on. Where are we at this very moment, and where do we actually want to be going, so that we can become more conscious and aware of our journey and actually start going to that direction. And that's why it's important to have those goal setting moments or reflection moments. And then the funny thing is that sometimes we feel like we're so busy with our day-to-day lives that we actually don't spend the time doing it, whereas it is something that could literally change our lives and the direction of the lives, and make us maybe less busy with less important things, and create actually a life that we want. And I think it's so interesting because so many of us just kind of feel like that life needs to be exciting and it will happen by itself, but it actually won't unless we put conscious effort into it. So that's why with this video and with this episode, I really wanted to encourage you to start pausing, and regardless how busy your life is at this moment, you can always find a few minutes and do a few things like meditating or journaling, so that you can reflect on where do you actually want to go. How do you actually want your life to look like? Do you know that? Do you really know what are your interests? What is your vocation or the purposeful job that you want to be doing? How do you actually want to be contributing to this world? Are you happy with where you are? Do you feel like you're on the right path? Do you even see the path? And do just start journaling on these questions to actually start creating direction. And if you already have this direction and you know where you're going, it's also important to have those check-ins with yourself, because then you can actually see, oh, okay, I'm actually a bit behind, or I'm actually I took the wrong turn and I need to turn back. And that's something that I'm doing on a regular basis, and I think it's helping me to actually define my direction and see where I want to go. And not just go with the flow of life, because the flow will take you down the easier road, but it doesn't mean that it will be the happiest road or the most fulfilling road. So I hope this encourages you to actually start reviewing your life and starting to take it the direction that you want to do it. And I think it all starts firstly by asking yourself the better questions, then journaling on them, getting those answers, and then starting to slowly take action towards that. Because, for example, we can look at our physical health. Are you where you want to be? Are you happy with your current physical state, your lifestyle habits? Will you still be happy if you continue doing the same thing for the next 10 years? And how will your physical health look like at that point? What about your financial state? What about your relationships? And all of these major aspects in your life. So I encourage you to not only set the New Year resolutions and then to not look at them, but also to make it a conscious activity, to have those check-ins on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. And once you do know the direction, one of my favorite exercises is to actually close my eyes and start imagining it and feeling the emotions as if I'm there. Imagine how those scenarios would look like, how those scenarios would feel like, as if I'm really truly living through them. And then the brain cannot really distinguish between the real world and what we're imagining. That's how powerful our brains are. And that's why once we do that, our brain almost feels like it's a reality, and it will help us bring it to the reality. It will help us identify what is the next good step to take, what is actually something that we should be doing, and also the road will become clear as we walk it. But it's important to, as I mentioned already, to know that at least there is a road, that we're on the right road, we're going in the right direction, and envisioning how we're walking there. But all of those little steps and details will also become clearer along the way as we actually are on that path and doing the thing. I hope you did enjoy this episode. Let me know if you did. And I can't believe it's already episode 41 out of 100 episodes that I'm doing as part of LifewithLiza 100 challenge, releasing 100 episodes in the last 100 days of 2022. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, like this video, and I see you tomorrow in the next one.